control. Bravo, team. Time to fight, Guardians. Capture all zones.
What's going on, guys? This is Martyrs Brigade 99 coming to you once again with another session of Destiny PvP.
You're in the lead.
Oh my god, that sounds terrible. That sounds absolutely terrible. I'm sorry. I have practiced that intro with Destiny as a title and it just doesn't have the same ring to it as either Dark Souls or Killzone Shadowfall. I don't know what it is, but it just doesn't have the same ring to it. So 9 times out of 10, I won't be using it. Alright, so be that as it may. Now, my original intent for my second video for Destiny was to come up with a tutorial for Crota's End Raid. Now, some of you guys may say to yourself, yo Brigade, why would you put forth a tutorial for that raid? Well, because, dude, if you go on YouTube, if you go on a lot of these mediums and you look up a tutorial for some of the sections in the raid, all you get is tutorials on how to damn cheese. The amount of cheesing on these raids are ridiculous. It's terrible. These guys are so bad at the game, either as individuals or as a team, that their first option is to cheese. Right? So once I noticed this, I said, you know what? Let me just go ahead, come up with my own tutorial, and then I'll go ahead and explain the legit way to play Crota's End. Now, unfortunately, PSN is down. Right? And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are disappointed at that news, that at least for me, it's been 2 days. Today's the 26th. So it was like most of yesterday. I was actually able to play early on Christmas Day, but most of yesterday, and let me see, what is 12:30 now at the time that I'm making this video, and the early morning of today on the 26th, I haven't been able to get onto PSN. Right? Now, one of my can't really say clanmate because he's not in my clan, but one of the guys that I play with, shout out to Stony. As a matter of fact, first off, shout out to everybody. There's a group of guys that I play with the most, right? Shout out to Stony, shout out to that guy Orange, Fig Newton, Sam, some of the other guys, Rikiu, some of the other guys that we play with. Shout out to all of them. But Stony's got like the best explanation for the bridge portion. So next time I talk to him, and hopefully by the time I talk to him, PSN will be back up, I'm going to get his full explanation, because I know how to do it, but usually we follow his instruction. And it's not that difficult. It's just, I mean, when I'm in the zone, I'm really not paying attention to anything else that's going on. You tell me to cover Zone A, I'm covering Zone A. You tell me to cover the bridge, I'm covering the bridge. That's usually how I play. Right? I'm the type of person that you give me one job, I'll stick on that job. But he has a really good explanation on the totems / the bridge. So I'm going to wait till PSN is back up, and then I'm going to come up with a tutorial for every section of Crota's End Raid, because it is so unnecessary to cheese. At the time that the expansion was released, we were able to get all the way up to Crota as level 30. So with the team of mostly 31s, or even, you know, half and half, there is no reason why any team would have to cheese unless they were just bad. Alright, but enough about that, because this video is not about Crota's End. This video obviously is going to be about the Crucible. I hate the Crucible. Right? Now, some of you guys may say, well, we already know how this video is going to go, Brigade. You must hate it because you're bad at it. You must be terrible at it. It depends on how you measure good or bad. Right? If you want to go by stats, I'm probably a lot worse than most people. Now, I'm above 1.0, but I'm obviously worse than most people. But for those that had, you know, high KDs, it's really hard for me to be impressed by that, seeing that this game is heavily dominated by special weapon spam and super spam. Right? As a matter of fact, here, let me tell you what you'll see 9 times out of 10 in the Crucible. Shotgun spam, fusion rifle spam, blade dancer, golden gun, fist of havoc, nova bomb, Searles regime, which I don't have a problem with. And after the Searles, all other weapons. Oh, as a matter of fact, I forgot to put in grenade spam. So it's more like, let me redo that. It's more like shotgun spam, fusion rifle spam, special spam, you know, blade dancer, golden gun, fist of havoc, nova bomb, grenade spam, right? Because you got to toss grenades everywhere. Searles regime, which I don't have a problem with, Searles or any other auto rifle. And after the Searles regime, all other weapons in the game. That must be an indicator that something is wrong with the PvP scene. Now, am I trying to say that you'll never see a scout rifle or a hand cannon or a sniper rifle or a pulse rifle? I'm not saying that you will never see them, but no one can deny, no matter how much of a fanboy that you are of the Crucible, you cannot deny that this game is dominated, completely dominated by fusion rifles and shotguns, which, keep in mind, are special weapons. They're not even primary. One of the biggest problems that I have is the fact that secondary ammo is as plentiful to a player as primary ammo. That should not be. First, it should be primary ammo, right, which should be available the most. Then it should fall off a little bit, you know, taper off, and then you should get special ammo. And then it should be your heavy weapons ammo. You should not have special weapon ammo as available as it is, because all it does is promote people spamming fusion rifles. Now, some of you guys may say, well, what's the big deal with fusion rifles? The problem that I have with a lot of fusion rifles, specifically the Plan C, you know, before the expansion, the Wizard 77, which are good, they're really effective. But the problem that I have with them is that they make so many other weapons obsolete. Right, and this is my problem with the way the Crucible currently exists. If you have a Plan C, the maximum effective range for that weapon, or the trolley problem, you know, a weapon that I have that is probably good, or, you know, if you have the Wizard 77 from before the expansion, or a lot of other fusion rifles, dude, you made a lot of weapons obsolete because you could outrange some scout rifles depending upon the distance that you are from your enemy. You could outrange some auto rifles, and not only do you outrange them, but they're one-shot kills. Now, I wouldn't have a problem with fusion rifles if they had slightly more range than a shotgun, but far less range than a scout rifle. But in a lot of cases, I've literally been zapped from across the map by Plan Cs and some of these other weapons. Right, and I think it's pointless to have a fusion rifle like that, especially when you have a scout rifle that should outrange a fusion rifle, but in a lot of cases they don't. Like, why would anyone try to experiment with a scout rifle when you can just zap somebody with one shot? Why would anyone try to practice getting headshots with a pulse rifle when you can just zap somebody from mid-range with a fusion rifle? That makes no sense in my personal opinion. There's far too many easy kills in this game for me to take this so-called competitive scene seriously, right? And as far as KDs, I don't even think that's necessarily a good indicator of anything, because think about it. I know a particular player who, and I actually used to play with him till, I mean, he deleted me from his friends list, but anyway, he was pretty good. And when you look at his KD was actually pretty high. But I played with him a few times, and basically what he did was he babysat certain areas and got kills as enemies came by. Now, am I criticizing this tactic? No, I'm not criticizing the tactic. I'm just using it as an example to say that just because a person has a high KD is not necessarily an indicator of one's ability. It could just be an indicator of one's tactic. You understand the difference? So, like, For example, let's just say a person only primaries fusion rifles.
Secure.
Well, basically on some maps you can just stay kneeled, and as soon as a person run by, you can zap them. One shot kill. It's not really a lot of effort with fusion
Zone
rifles.
A lost.
You know, you do that 5, 6, 7, 10,
Zone
maybe
C
15
neutral.
times. You're going to have a high
Enemy
KD,
captured
especially
Zone
as you continue to do this over time. So a high KD in this
Not
game,
dead
this is
yet,
why I don't take
Guardian.
some of these KD,
Pick it up.
KD
Zone
whores
C
seriously when I hear
secure.
them boast, about what their KD is, or when I hear them try to put you down because yours is not as good as theirs. So many people like to use KDs as an indicator, and is not necessarily an indicator of one's ability. In some ways, it's an indicator of one's play style.
Zone C lost.
So, enough about that. So these are my gripes with the Crucible, right? Too many easy kills,
Enemy
far
captured
too much
Zone C.
ammo for the secondary weapons, far too many kills with
1 minute.
heavies and specials without the ability to counter. I mean, how can you really brag about the Crucible in this game? Come on now. I mean, the Crucible is not good. Crucible is ass.
Let this defeat be easy.
But anyway, those are my gripes with the Crucible. I'm pretty sure you guys are going to have some different opinions. I'm looking forward to reading those. So, hey, until next time, Martyr's Brigade is